what's up, guys? Welcome out to another episode of According to Kaz and Queen. And as always, I'm Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
This is a still podcast of ours, conversations that happen between a husband and wife in the privacy of our own home that we bring to you guys, sometimes to make you laugh, to make you think, but as always, to open up the lines of communication between husbands and wives, men and women, friends and lovers, all of that good stuff. We are all over your streaming services. All right. We're everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts. You can check us out there. You can also download us. All right. On the BWNC radio app. All right. Download the BWNC radio app. All right. Either at the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store. Check us out there. We are on social media. We are on Facebook. All right. We are on Instagram. We are also on Twitter, and we are also on TikTok. So check us out on all social media platforms. And of course, we need you to make sure that you give us a subscribe, a like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications to the YouTube page. All right. Brad Kamikaze Franklin. That's Brad Kamikaze Franklin. All right. You'll see it right here where my finger is. Make sure you go and like and subscribe to that page. All right. Check us out. We're inching up towards 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate you guys for continuing to show love to us as well. This is brought to you by the Kundi Collection. All right. www.kundicollective.com. www.kundicollective.com. I've got on one of the shirts right now. This is representing for the crib for Mississippi, the birthplace of America's music. Y'all see Mississippi as being the problem, but I see it as the solution. All right. It's for everybody that's showing love to Mississippi. Shouts out to Maximus Wright, the filmmaker and entrepreneur who came up with this slogan. Whenever I hear dope things said by dope folks in our community, we make them into T-shirts. And that's what makes the Kundi Collection so dope. So make sure you go check it out at www.kundicollective.com. All right. Make sure you do that. And if you got any questions or comments that you want us to answer, if you got something that you want us to talk about, hit us up, kazandqueen@gmail.com. It's kazandqueen@gmail.com. Hit us up. We'll answer any of your questions. If you got relationship questions, you got marriage questions, questions about sex, questions about your favorite liquors, questions about a TV show or anything, make sure that you tune in and check us out, and we'll be glad to answer those for you. And shouts out to the folks at Old Smoky. We're going to show them some love again because they actually came on and liked and they commented on our post from last week when we were trying out the Old Smoky peanut butter whiskey. I was saying peanut, except I was putting it together, and now Old Smoky and all the people in Gatlinburg, Tennessee don't think that Kaz can pronounce peanut correctly, and I'll probably be doing that for the rest of my life now. Peanut butter whiskey from Old Smoky. Shouts out to Old Smoky. We're gonna start out with another shot over here.
Let me just say this first of all. We have to look each other in the eye, and we have to ding. Okay. You can't just pretend like you did.
I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
Here's to
ding ding. Here's to
Old
another
Smoky.
Yeah, Old Smoky, and another dope episode of the podcast. I'm telling you, man, I love that taste, man.
It's so tasty.
It's like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich going down. If you have an affinity and a love for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like I do.
But you eat grape jelly, so you're not really having the whole experience of the peanut butter and jelly anyway.
So I eat all kinds of jelly, first of all.
Well, you only buy grape.
There is some strawberry preserves and some apple jelly in there as
Preserves
well.
is not jelly, and the apple I bought because apple is the only real jelly that exists.
Well, that's not true. They wouldn't make all of the other flavors of jelly if people didn't eat the other flavors. They make grape, strawberry. There's a peach jelly that's out there. Marmalade.
I can't believe you're naming jelly flavors.
I'm just telling you, I've had different kinds of jelly on my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So there's that. So shouts out to everybody that loves their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life when I say that. So it doesn't sound like I'm saying peanut, which is not what I said. I ran the tape back a lot of times. I didn't say peanut.
And you heard it.
I don't know about that. But at any rate.
That's crazy, man.
Appreciate you guys. Shouts out to Old Smokey for showing some love to a little old tiny podcast down here doing our thing. But yeah, we're really enjoying the peanut butter whiskey, and we'll probably try some of the other flavors. They got a lot of other flavors that are like peanut butter, kind of dessert flavors to the whiskey. I'll show it to you.
I'm open to it. I usually don't like sweets, but there's a nice balance in.
They got a kick in that. It's not like, some of the other sweeter liqueurs. It's got a kick to it, and you still get your whiskey effect. You can
it's
still
the
mix
whiskey
it
effect that I like.
Yes.
But there's the overlay of peanut butter is nice.
Peanut butter, the overlay of that as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. People are still talking about Clay and AD even a week later after that's all over with, but we kind of touched on that on last week. A lot of stuff going on. I want to talk particularly, first of all, about something that I sent you that I want to see. There is a TikToker, and I need to make sure that I am pronouncing her name correctly when I look at this. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to pull this up to make sure that I can pronounce her name correctly. There's a TikToker by the name of Zacchaeus. Her name is Zacchaeus Jones. She gets on TikTok and she eats different foods, tries out different foods, and, people are obviously entertained at seeing her try these foods and eat these foods. We'll go on to that a little bit later. But, it doesn't take very long to assess that Zacchaeus is a larger woman. She is a full-figured woman, and she's eating large portions of food. It doesn't take long for you to gather that, and that in and of itself is not a problem. There was a registered nurse and a travel nurse, a gentleman who said he was a fan of the page, who watched her video and has watched her videos in the past, said that he was a fan. I thought he was really nice, but I digress. I'll go into it a little bit more. He proceeded to kind of give a few tips, or just kind of proceeded to kind of give a bit of a warning about the amount of food that she was eating, the amount of cheese that she was eating, the size portions that she was eating the whole time. And I think he went about it about as nicely as you can possibly do it. And of course, as social media does, there were two camps. There was the one camp who was like, he was nice and he told Zacchaeus something that she needed to hear. And then there was the camp of people who were saying, how dare you? How dare you try to, scold this woman about her eating habits and her weight, and she's fine like she is, and that's not your place, and yada, 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 even though he's a registered nurse, and I'm sure he counsels people on this every day. So, I just found it interesting that there were two camps in this, and then there was a reply from Zacchaeus, and we'll get to that in a second, but you had the opportunity to kind of check it out. So, and looking at the videos and seeing his response, what was your first thought when you heard it?
I thought it was nice. I thought that it was actually a very responsible take.
Yes.
And I feel like if he is in the business of educating people about how to live healthier lives, then I think it makes sense to me for him to do it. People choose not to every day who have the information that he has. So I can appreciate that. And as a full-figured woman, I'm not inclined to get on TikTok and eat, but there are smaller people who do it too.
Yes.
So there is a connotation of being overweight in there that makes me uncomfortable, because there are people who are smaller who do it and don't have that same stigma on them. But at the same time, because of her weight, her health consciousness should be elevated. So I can appreciate him doing it. I think he was nice. And I don't think he just did it for her. I think he did it for people who are watching her who may not have the information. Like, you could choose whatever you want to do. It's your platform. But for those of you who may not be as inclined to what this eating these foods and what it does to your body, as a RN, who is probably also a trainer or educator or something, because he spoke so eloquently, then, it's his life's work to make sure people are informed.
Yeah.
I didn't really find a problem with it, but I can also see both sides of the camp.
Right.
You know, I can understand why some people would feel that way. And then I can understand why people would feel like it's the thing to do. So I guess if I had to lay on this thing, I would say that I probably fall more in line with the people who say he was nice about it and she needed the information.
Right. And it's a really thin line.
Oh, the line is almost inexistent.
Yeah, it's a very thin line between overstepping, because I'm always amazed at the level of overstep that people have on social media. When you don't have personal physical interaction with people, the overstep that happens on social media is something that you're going to have to deal with. There are people every day who are anonymous. You don't know who they are. You don't know where they're coming from, that will come under your post and they will comment about something in regards to your life and give their opinion or tell you what they think you should do or not do, coming out of the complete blue. And especially if you are a really well-known influencer, they'll do that. So there's a thin line between minding your own business and then kind of looking out for your fellow man. And there's a lot of people that fall on different sides of that. I thought he was very nice. I thought he was offering some information at the same time. But in my head, what made you feel like you needed to give her that advice?
I just told you, I don't think he was giving the advice to her only. I think he was just making a public statement. If you're going to watch this, be aware.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was doing. And in his line of work, that's part for the course. So I don't think he was real, coming from a very sensitive place. He recognized that it could easily be taken out of hand, and he did it anyway. I don't think he was not aware that there were going to be people who took it the other way as offensively, as, you know, took it offensively. I don't think that he was lost on that.
Right.
I think the way that he presented it was because he knew that.
Right.
So, you know, he threw caution to the wind, obviously, because he felt like this information was important enough to do so. Or, you know, in today's society, he might have just been trying to go viral. Who knows? He was
really sensitive about it. I mean, he
was very thoughtful.
He started off by saying that he was a fan. He started off that it was saying that he enjoyed, you know, watching the video. So he prefaced it with all due respect at the beginning, you know, to try to make it be known.
But, you know, people actually receive things from their own personal life experience.
Correct.
So those people who were offended by it felt offended for their own personal reasons. True. So, you know, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be one camp over here and one camp over there, because some people have felt it and experienced whatever that is that they're passionate about. And it may not even be weight related or food related, but some sort of thing triggered something in them to make them feel offended by it. And it had nothing to do with the dude at all.
Correct.
So, you know, that's just how people receive things. And it's always going to be two sides, at least. Two sides
to every story. And on the flip side of that, Zacchaeus responded to him a little bit later in her video. And, you know, the highlights of that video, basically, among other things, is she said, you know, I eat to entertain you guys. You guys like to be entertained by me eating. And then the second thing she said is I will lose the weight if you guys send me $250,000. Now, when it gets to this point, this is when I start raising the red flag, because even in me saying, okay, you have a line where the RN, the nurse, could have crossed the line by getting too far into her business or even making a statement at all or even responding to it at all. And then you have the side of it that comes back to what is going on social media today, and Zacchaeus seeing this as an opportunity to cash in on this. So I don't know what your motivation is behind it, but to me, telling people you send me $250,000 and I'll lose the weight is like saying, if you don't send me the $250,000, I won't lose the weight, which she did say that she was not going to lose the weight unless she got the money. And then B, as a means to try to cash in on people delving too deeply into your life, because there's going to be some people that are going to send her that money.
Yeah, I think it was I think it was just the easiest way for her to respond to hide whatever she was actually feeling from getting that.
That was my point. Do you think it was kind of a deflection thing?
I think it was a deflection thing for sure. You know, who knows what her lifestyle is outside of what she posts, but you know, I think it just was so silly to me. The response was so silly to me because I don't know, you know, I find it hard sometimes to answer these questions because what is actually rational to me in today's world doesn't really add up. You know what I'm saying? Like in today, like I want to be able to say that she's not really nobody's really going to send her $250,000.
But they might.
But they very well could. She literally could. She could actually probably end up with some sponsors for food. You know, who in today's world you just don't know. So I really don't. All I know is it did not come across to me as her natural, fluid reaction. It seemed like what she was prepared to say to people.
I think in this day and age, I think if you've seen what happened with Risa Tisa, you've seen what happened with her. You've seen what's happening right now with Miss Netta and Charles. You're seeing people go out and get paid and get notoriety for the most mundane of things. You know, Miss Netta just came in the room and said, "Charles, your lunch is ready." And said it so many times that it began to catch on and it became a thing. And now they're out hosting parties right now. They're out hosting parties. They're getting free
abs.
Yeah. Free plastic surgery.
Was it free?
Yes, it was free plastic surgery. That was the celebrity plastic surgery guy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're getting plastic surgery. They're hosting parties. They're doing all of these things, you know, the makeup artist, the stylist, all of these people that, you know, are coming in now for Miss Netta and for Charles. And then Risa Tisa, you know, now is being represented by one of the biggest management firms, entertainment management firms in the world, in CAA. And they're talking about, you know, turning her story into a movie and her, you know, being a creative consultant on the movie. So in saying that, it's not beyond the pale that Sakia could probably put out there that, you know, for $250,000, I'll lose the weight. It's not beyond the pale that there is some trainer or weight loss guru out there, or some food Weight Watchers, or Factor, or Eat Fresh. What is the other thing? The one Hello Fresh. Yeah, that's going to haunt you in your dreams. Hello Fresh. You know, there's somebody out there that might send her, you know, their little packages or whatever, or they might sponsor what it is that she's doing. And I really honestly believe, because people are so mean and so callous on social media, I do feel that there are some people who would send her money and try to send her their $250,000 just because they want to see her try to lose weight. Not for her, not for the sake of her or her health, but they want her to lose the weight because they feel a way about watching her eat all of that food, which is also a little weird in and of itself in this day and age for people to be.
It's a lot of them. It's a whole thing. It's a name. It's a word for it. I can't even think of it right now, but like that's a thing.
But for her to say that she eats to entertain folks, that raised a red flag for me, because eating food on camera is the way that she feels like she is contributing to the world. She said, y'all enjoy watching me do it. Not even about her at the end of the day, but for me, it feels like she's not really doing it to entertain other people. I think she's doing it because it entertains her. I think she's entertained by it, and I think that's why she does it. And it is yet to be seen. It's crazy. The social media world is just really crazy right now. I will say this. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are. As science and physics and health dictates, you can't eat that amount of bad food every day continuously for a period of time and it not do something negatively to your body.
For sure.
You just can't do it. Whether you enjoy watching somebody do it or not, whether it's funny for somebody to keep doing it, whether it's entertaining to you, whether it's something that's making people money. You can't. Health is such a real thing, and now at our age, a lot of our conversations are about health and what our bodies are feeling like and what our bodies are reacting to. And you don't want to get to this age and older and have these issues and have these obstacles that you have to overcome.
Man, I wish I knew what I know now.
Right.
In my 20s.
Right.
I wish I knew. I wish the world that I lived in at that time was as health conscious as the world that I live in now.
Right.
Man, I would have did things a whole lot different.
When it was easier to do them.
Yes, my Lord.
When it was easier to do them, it's crazy. And you think in your 20s and 30s, you think it's not going to happen to me. And absolutely everybody that's in their 20s and 30s is thinking that right now. I can eat what I want to eat. People are going to the gym and working out and trying to be health conscious, but in your 20s and 30s, you're not thinking about getting up out of bed and your knees are aching to the point of you having to ice them down after you just do regular stuff, or your back hurting.
Or the fact that you can't day drink without a nap before you do anything else.
Yes.
Or that if you drink too much, your hangover is not going to be the amount of time that you fall asleep and get up. It's like you got to schedule a recovery day. Or
two recovery days.
Yeah, you gotta. Okay, if I'm drinking and I'm partying Friday, I should be good by Monday. Yes. If I don't do nothing else.
Yes, and that's a real thing. That is a real.
Crazy.
It is so real. There is a 48 to 72 hour grace period after,
depending on how much you intake.
Depending on how much you intake, if you really, really go hard. And you take all the precautions when you're going hard, like we prep to go out and drink. When we know we're getting ready to go out and drink, we prep for it. We take some BC. We've got bottles of water with us. We make sure that we've eaten and we've coated the stomach. And even then, you can still ingest a lot of alcohol. And your body's not going to get right until that alcohol wears out. First of all, you're going to wake up, fully awake. Whenever that point is, it could be 3, 4, 5 in the morning. You're going to wake up when that liquor wears off, and you've got a couple of days for your body to get back hydrated again at this age. Whereas at 20, you could stumble into your house at 3 in the morning and be up at 6 in the morning, and everything is cool.
And do it again
the next day, which is both of our experiences when we were in our 20s. It's wild because, again, one day you're going to wake up and those knees are going to be hurting. The back is going to be hurting.
Shoulder, you done laid on your shoulder.
Shoulder is going to be hurting because you laid the wrong way.
For 3 days.
You know what I'm saying? Going to the bathroom is not going to be.
Nobody wants to take blood pressure medicine every day.
Yes.
You got to remember to take a pill every single day.
Mm-hmm. And people with type 2 diabetes having to take a pill every day.
Or insulin shots.
Yes.
Like required.
Yes.
For you to live, you got to shoot yourself with a needle every day.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do that.
These are things that are, there's not a if, these are things that are going to happen to you when you get in your 40s, mid to late 40s, getting into your 50s. These are things that are going to happen to you. And I can tell you from experience, the older you are, the harder it is to get the weight off. Yes, the harder it is to get into a regiment, the harder it is to get up every day and exercise at a particular time. It's very difficult. If you get into the mode now, when you're in your 20s and your early 30s and you develop a pattern and you develop a habit, and even then, if life is lifing, you're not going to be able to do it consistently then.
And I didn't start consistently working out until late 40s, a couple of years ago, 48. Mm-hmm. I did a couple of little months here or there. They don't even really count. Mm-hmm. So my body is, for the first 6 months of me working out, my body was like, and by working out, I just was on the treadmill. But my body really was like, oh, for real? Mm-hmm. You think we can do this? I had several. I get on a run and I go a couple of weeks and then my back hurt. And I can't get on the treadmill. I can't barely walk. And so I'm out for another week. I got to start back over. Then I get that together. I go strong. Then my ankles started hurting. Yeah. So now I got to wait and let my ankles heal up so I can get strong enough to do that. Then I got shoulder pain. Like, my body literally was like, I've never used any part of this before ever. We've never done any of this. What are you thinking?
Because you went through your 20s and 30s not having to do that. You could bounce back.
Absolutely.
You could lose weight at the snap of a finger. You go in the gym for 3-4 months and, cut back and you're eating a little bit. The weight comes off. Everything's fine. That's not the case when you get in the 40s. The weight's going to come off a lot slower. It's going to be a lot harder to get the weight off, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to get up and lumber your way to the gym every morning or every evening, especially if life is lifing and you've got to get up and go to a job every day, or you have a very demanding job. Then at that point, you're having to figure out, what time can I go and exercise? How can I eat? What can I eat? Those are things that are happening now. So for Zacchaeus or for anybody else out there, not to get into your business or anything along those lines, but think about the future. And that's something that a lot of young people just don't do. Think about the future. You got a lot more life to live.
Ultimately, entertainment is not a sufficient enough reason to sacrifice your health.
Yeah. Because at the drop of a hat, this could happen. And you see it all the time. You watch My 600-Pound Life. You see, those men and those women on that show, and for a lot of them, it hasn't clicked yet. A lot of them have gotten into their lifestyle and being that size, and, they're living it and it's cool. They're with somebody, and they're always with somebody, as a matter of fact. I've never seen not one person that was lonely on My 600-Pound Life. All of them were either married or in a relationship, and they had somebody who continuously just brought them food over and over again. And, and a lot of them were defiant when the doctor came in and told them what to do. And it's unfortunate, but it's not going to end well.
Right.
It's not going to end well at all. Take care of yourself and take care of your health, Sakia, or anybody that's out there. I think it was constructive criticism. I think it was good, but I also know that Sakia knows that in this day and age, I could probably get some people to send me some money for me to do this, and that's what you're going to do.
And even if they don't send it, shoot your shot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try it at the end of the day. Somebody is going to reach out to her and help her on her journey. I just know it. I just know that it is, because if she can go viral for what she's been going viral for, I know for a fact that somebody can come in and try to help her. But then there's the issue of, what if she ends up losing 200 pounds and then she's slim and then she stops eating on TikTok? Then what happens? Now the money doesn't come in anymore. Now what have I done? I've taken my chance to be independently wealthy, traded it in for good health, and now I can't get on TikTok and eat food anymore, because now it's not entertaining, because now I've lost 200 pounds. Now I'm eating healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's a catch-22. And it's social media, man. It's a crazy thing. But speaking of social media, segue, you sent me something in the inbox. And I don't think we've talked about that on here, but we've definitely discussed it before. Definitely had conversations about it. There was a post. I don't know if it was a poll or something along the lines, but the premise of it is that couples who don't post each other on social media are happier than couples who do. The happier couples are the couples who don't post each other on social media as much. And that's something that we've kind of talked about in the past, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that. What do you think about that?
I want to hear your thoughts.
I want to hear your thoughts.
I want to hear your thoughts.
I think it varies. I think you have to do it on a case-by-case basis. I don't think anything can just be sweepingly generalized like that to say that, couples are happier if they don't post each other on social media. We post each other a lot. And we love each other. I know I don't find any problem.
I think we post each other a normal amount. There are people who way exceed that.
Give me an example of what you would say with
don't post at all.
Okay. So where are you on that spectrum? Because I know from our conversations where you kind of are on that spectrum, but where are you on that spectrum from not at all to too much to a normal amount in between?
I don't know. It's different for me. I post what I feel. So if I feel like talking about you for 3 days, then that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. That hasn't been the case, but I just post what I feel. I think what the thought process behind it is that you make yourself too available to the public, and give them too much of your business, which can lend to, negative energy and speak and all that kind of stuff, just kind of mess up the atmosphere around what you're trying to protect. And there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
But when you are protected and grounded and solid in what you have, it doesn't matter what amount of negativity somebody feels or tries to send your way. It's not going to reach you. It's not going to touch you if what you have is real and solid and, worth posting. So I don't know. I think that was the idea behind the question. But then I saw comments where people who said they didn't post had like legitimately individual reasons for
specific to them.
Specific to them, yes. So I think you may be right in the fact that it's an individually case by case type of thing.
It's case by case. Yeah.
If it works for you, it works for you. I love seeing love. I absolutely love seeing love.
Yes.
I also am entertained by what people think is love. So that's entertaining as well. But I don't really, I think my opinion would probably be just like yours, because there may be somebody who posts they dating somebody and they post them a lot, and then they date somebody and they don't post them as much. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is a poster or they constantly post their relationships. It may just be the caliber of the relationship, the comfort, the trust between the two of them. If both of them have high social media presences, some people don't. So all of those things go into it. But I think it's safe to say that it just is a case-by-case type of thing.
I would agree on that, and that's what I feel. But, looking at some of the comments and some of the folks, people who really shape their lives around social media, this is going to be one of those issues that they'll probably debate with you. Social media is not a real place. I tell people that all the time. It is an alternate universe. And if you take yourself too seriously in that space, it'll drive you crazy. But there are absolutely some people who really determine their worth in a relationship by the amount of pictures and the amount of posting that they do of their significant other or them going out, or the amount of times that their significant other likes their post or hearts their post or shares their post. They really take it as if you don't do this in any shape, form, or fashion, if you don't do this, you don't love me. If you don't do this at all.
I used to be on that.
Yes, you did. Let's talk about it. I used to be when I first got on to Facebook, mind you, he got on way before me. I was uninterested. And he kept telling me, you got a business, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on Facebook. So I didn't have a real clear understanding about what Facebook was. But I had a small enough following to where I paid attention to him. He was my very first friend on Facebook. So I paid attention to him. So every post he made, I was liking it. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. So I expected the same thing in return. And until my followers grew, my attention to my business became more succinct and more definite, more determined. When I started understanding Facebook a little bit better, and then realized that I barely go through to look at the likes. I might catch the notifications, but if it's something that I think he needs to see, I'll just say, did you see my post? Yep.
So I don't know how or when or why. I think it was maybe just because I didn't understand how Facebook
I think
worked.
You were just kind of getting into the swing. You didn't understand it. That was kind of early on in the marriage as well.
Yeah.
And there was still a lot of things.
I still had a lot of baggage and trauma.
So, for you, me not liking your post was paramount to all out adultery, almost. Not close to it, but I was on the street in the neighborhood of adultery if I did not like your post. And it became a point.
Just be going too far.
It became a point of contention, really, because I'm just scrolling along in my day. I got, at the time, I've got like maybe over 10,000 people that follow me now on Facebook, since they extended the total. But, I'm inching up towards, 4,000 or 5,000 people at the time. 5,000 was the maximum limit of people that you could have at the time. I got a lot of people that come across my page when I'm scrolling. And I'm not going to see your post right off. And that was, of course,
I didn't understand
you
that
didn't
at all.
understand the algorithm. You didn't understand any of that. So when I didn't get around to it and I didn't see it and I didn't like the post, there was real beef in the house when it was not happening. Like, there was real beef. And I did not know how I was going to be able to make it through because none of my explanations made sense because they were all scientific social media explanations. So none of them were making any sense. I was talking about algorithm. I was talking about your friends list, scrolling down, timeline. The timeline turns over. I was trying to tell her all of this stuff that's happening with social media. All she knew was, I'm your wife. This is on my page. Why didn't you like it? And why didn't you love it? And I've had family members that have said that same stuff about their post about why didn't you like it? Nigga, I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I really, I didn't see it when I do see it. And now with Facebook, sometimes bringing stuff up from 3 or 4 days ago on the timeline, I get people liking posts 5 days after I've posted something because it just came across their feed. My wife will have some stuff come across my feed 5 days later that I will see, and she will do the very same thing on stuff that she's posted that we have talked about in person, but it just came across my feed a little bit later on. So now she has a business. So now she's talked to people. She's trial and error. She's learned and read up.
And I've had people to come up to me and ask me why I don't like it. And I be going, so now it's something I could relate to.
Yes.
I couldn't relate to before.
So now you understand algorithm and now understanding how that works on Instagram and IG, now we get it. So there are some posts that I don't like on her page. There's some of my posts that she doesn't like.
Well, first of all, I don't compare. I'm not compelled to like every post, and you shouldn't be. And I don't hold you to that regard at all. Anyway, anymore.
Now you don't
anymore.
In the beginning, I don't know when that time changed. And I got to go back to kind of see you because now you're not there at all. Like, I don't even sweat it. But there was real pressure on a nigga in the first couple of years on getting on Facebook to go over there and like them posts. Because if I came in this house or the house that we were in at the time, any of them, if I came in that house and there had been a post up for a couple of hours and I hadn't liked that son bitch, there was going to be a problem when I walked in the door. It was going to be real beef.
You had pressure?
Yes, baby. I had anxiety out of the ass trying to goddamn get over there and like them posts until you got it figured out. And I really literally just hadn't seen the post at all. And then, of course, I'm not just literally on social media all day long. I'll go back and check and scroll. And by that time, your post has cycled through my feed. So I hadn't seen it. So unless I even started getting up and I will go to her page and scroll down and see statuses that I have not seen.
Oh my goodness.
And then,
that's terrible.
I would like them.
I'm sorry.
And some of them kind of applied to me or our marriage or other people in a nice way. And you go in, some of them, she was talking about, a TV show, or she was talking about a reality show that she was watching, shit that I wasn't watching. And I'm not finna like that. You're not talking to me. I don't have anything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And you're able to have stuff on your page that I don't have anything to do with.
Right.
And, I don't have to like it. And the stuff on my page that she might, half the time I'll be posting stuff and she doesn't even agree with what I posted. So she doesn't like it, because a lot of, contrary to popular belief, we don't agree on everything. I think that's kind of what makes us work. We don't just arbitrarily, if I post something, she doesn't just arbitrarily come over there and like it. And I don't just arbitrarily like hers. Like, we'll debate it and we'll talk about it, maybe sometimes. And it's definitely a lot of stuff I put up some of the time. And we're very transparent, too, on top of that. So outside of that, people know us to be transparent. So we're not held to the same standard anymore, I think, that a lot of couples are, because I think there are a lot of people who peruse social media to see when the couples are not liking each other's statuses.
Oh,
and pictures.
God, you got to figure out something else to do with your life. That is ridiculous.
I think it if you are, but people, hey, he is such and such put that post up, and his girlfriend didn't like it.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I thought that was only celebrities.
Oh no,
but I'm sure
that's regular people.
In regular thought, like that.
When you know them and you know the couple, or you going back and forth between, you can tell when a couple is in an argument with each other and they putting up subliminal posts about each other. I will dig in for hours going back and forth. Checking it out. Yeah, I do, because I be wanting to know. I be trying to get context clues on the framework of the argument when they're going back and forth.
Child.
Or if I see somebody put a post up about somebody, my uncle such and such did such and such, and they putting out some family business, when they put their name on there, I'll go search that name, and I'm gonna go to their page and find out what Uncle Charles is talking about over on his page. Let's see if he know what his niece is talking about over here on this side. It's entertaining in that sense when you don't have anything else to do, but that comes with the, putting a little bit too much on social media.
I'll never not have something to do then.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends.
I follow like celebrity gossip like that sometimes, but sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, I get a lot of wild stuff because I got so many people coming through and scrolling through my page. I get a lot of wild stuff, and it's a lot of family members be venting on somebody that came through and did something at the house over the weekend with the kids or something, and they just be airing shit out. And then, well, shit. Let me go over here and find out what's happening over here. So, and it turns into a whole story.
I bet you also the person that if you hear neighbors arguing, you try to go outside and vacuum.
I'm going to dip my head out and see what's happening, see what's going on. Because, I just want to be aware of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to dip, I'm going to look out the window. I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit. You going to pull that curtain back. You going to pull that curtain back. Don't act like we done pulled the curtain back together. We done been standing there together.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
We have.
But it's not.
You go ahead and let it out.
I don't really care. I might be looking to make sure that they ain't close or who it is or something like that.
Yeah, just to know what's going on in that case. But, luckily we've gotten on the other side of that. I think the whole posting people on social media, I think there was somebody that might not be in a relationship that made that poll, because I think sometimes single people or people that want somebody and ain't got nobody, I think they don't like seeing love on their timeline. I don't think they like it. I don't think they like even seeing people courting on that timeline. And that's cool.
Yeah.
I can understand that. That is a real human emotion. I don't want to see all of this love on my timeline. Y'all post each other too much. And then, there are some couples that do post each other incessantly. Then there are the couples who have the joint Facebook pages.
Ooh.
And I would never, ever, for the life of me, figure out why that exists. I don't understand. Well, you know what?
You don't talk to us.
The first thing I think of when I see the joint Facebook pages is, I wonder how long ago he got caught cheating. That's the first thing I think. Whoever the dude is, it doesn't matter.
I think? I think, how old are they?
Okay. They do tend to be older people.
Mm-hmm.
They do tend to be older.
It be husbands and wives. They've been married for 50 years and people think of them as one.
That's true.
They relate to them as one. They get mail as one. They get phone calls as one. Everything is one.
I guess that's fair. I think it's a ridiculous idea. I think it's corny. I think anybody that signs up for it, again, to each his own. You won't see us doing it because we have our identities outside of that. We have an According to Kaz and Queen page that, of course, you can follow on all social media platforms. And that is the name of our podcast, but it's not like it's a joint page where, we're going to be, you're going to see us eating and we're taking a picture like, here we are, it's Kaz and Queen out to eat. It's not that kind of thing at all whatsoever. It's strictly for, the purposes of us and our branding on our side. But, Brad and Fumi Franklin page, it's funny just thinking about it. We'd have our little face in the profile thing, you know what I'm saying? Our little Ola Mills picture in the profile thing. And, people come on our page and comment, and of course, both our names will pop up. So we'll be answering people's comments and shit together on the page. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, man. Y'all,
not our thing.
It's not our thing. Y'all fellas stop cheating out there, man, and stop getting caught your wives going through your pages at the inbox because y'all are the reason why
Fellas
these
ain't
joint
the
pages.
only ones cheating.
They not. But you know what? For the life of me, I don't think if a woman got caught cheating, I don't think her husband would make them have a joint Facebook page. I don't think that's a dude thing.
I don't know. I don't think I don't. I have to think about that, but I think you're right.
Getting a joint Facebook page totally sounds like a woman who has caught her man dilly-dallying, and now she finna put the clamps on her. We finna have this page together. Like you said, you finna talk to us. Us.
I mean, but you could very easily just give them access to your Facebook page. You ain't got to set one up jointly.
That's true. That's true indeed. That's true indeed. It's wild stuff, man. Social media is wild. One more thing too before we get out of here. Of course, I thought was you sent me the post about the young lady. She got famous for I think she had the videos of her where she would be, doing her hair, and she was also she would make fun of herself because she's so skinny. So she'd be doing a little twerk videos of her, being really skinny. And it turns out that she actually raps, as a matter of fact. What is it? Okay. It turns out that she has a rap record too, as well, that she has put out. But at any rate, she is, what's her name? Let me find out what her name is. Let's go back. Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole is the internet star, and she was recently called a deadbeat mom because she leaves her kids with their dad as she goes out and she does her internet star stuff. She has a rap song that's out now.
He's raising the kids.
He's raising the kids.
Look at it again.
It says raising. To be raised by their dad is what it says. She responds to being called a deadbeat mom for leaving her kids to be raised by their dad. Depending upon what he does and depending on what his occupation is, she might clearly be the breadwinner in that couple. And if she is, then I don't see any problem with it at all whatsoever. She's got stuff that she has to do, and I'm pretty sure she's not just leaving them over there and not going to see him. He made them too. He is the dad. He is 50% responsible for those kids. And if your mom is off because she's an influencer and she's off doing some shows and she's out making money, which is what she's been doing for a few years now, watch your kids, man. They're your kids.
I don't care if she ain't doing nothing but going to the nail salon. I don't care if she just knows that she's not a good mother. I don't care what her reason is. She can't be a deadbeat mom for doing what's best for her children.
Correct.
And men leave women with children every day.
Every single solitary day.
And we do not get the opportunity to have an argument about that.
And there's a lot of men who feel like that is the way that it's supposed to be. They feel like the woman is supposed to be the person that is doing the child rearing, which is a caveman mentality. But there are a lot of them who feel that way. And there are a lot of men who feel like they're not supposed to do any child rearing at all whatsoever. When it comes to take care of the kids, that's the woman's job, and I get to go out freely and do what I need to do. And if she's not doing it, then she's a deadbeat. A deadbeat, ladies and gentlemen, is a person who is not providing for their children. Now, time is important. I can attest to that. Being there and being present is important, but also making sure they got food and clothes on their back too is present. And sometimes one is going to outweigh the other, because you can have a person that's got a lot of time, that's at home with the kids, that's not bringing any money in, and the kids is hungry and ain't got clothes, but you in their face all day long every day. Or you got somebody that works a lot, that's providing for the kids, and they might not be there all the time. Such is the problem with a lot of entertainers and athletes, wrestlers that are gone a lot of the times across the year, but they're making money to take care of their family.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but take care of them kids, man. They your kids. You made them. You raising them.
And daddies, y'all can't be babysitters.
You're not babysitting when it's your own kids. You're not when it's your kids that you birthed and had a hand in birthing, you can't babysit them. That is the wrong term. Stop saying that.
I gotta go babysit my kids.
You are taking care of your kids. You are rearing your kids. You're doing your parental duties that come in when you are taking care of your kids. And unless this dude is an internet star himself and he's out a whole lot, or I don't know what he does for his occupation, but if he's not getting flown out to host parties and do shows and stuff like Kayla Nicole is, if that's not happening, then dude, you are doing your due diligence. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to worry about calling a mother or a father a deadbeat. When those kids get of age, they'll figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
And if you feel like Kayla Nicole is a deadbeat, when those kids get raised and they become of a certain age and they are aware of what's happening, they'll let her know if they liked the fact that she was gone all the time. Your kids will let you know. Don't worry about it. When they turn 14, 15, 16 years old, they'll get it figured out. You don't have to call somebody a deadbeat, so your daddy ain't this or your mama ain't that. The kids will figure it out.
I think the deadbeat moniker tag came from the public. I don't think it came from him.
I mean, well, yeah. And I think it came from a chauvinistic public as well, because for some reason, people just really hate to see women, out, in a dominant role in a relationship. People just hate to see it. They really have an idea of where a woman's place is, quote unquote, in society. And if they're not there, then it becomes a problem. But she's young, she's an influencer. Those are the things that happen. Now, I don't know what's going to happen if this TikTok ban comes on board. I don't know if this legislation that just got passed, if it goes through, and if TikTok is no longer in existence, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother thing. I think we'll talk about that next time, because it's going to be crazy. Because if you better hide your kids and hide your wives and lock your doors and your windows.
And fill out some applications.
Because they finna have to go get some jobs. And some of them who don't know how to are not going to be able to get jobs or know to get jobs or want to get jobs, and they going to start scamming and breaking in people's windows and doors and things. It's going to be like the night of the living dead out here when TikTok goes black for a whole bunch of people, because that is a lot of people's world. But I want to save that and wait and see what's going to happen with TikTok in the next week or so before we actually talk about it, because if it does actually get banned, that will be something that we'll talk about here on this podcast. Love and Life is getting ready to come up on May the 4th. It's coming up real soon. It is our annual event. This is the 12th time that Love and Life. It is a panel discussion on love, life, dating, single, complicated, all of that good stuff. It's kind of where debate night was birthed from, discussions that took place in our panel discussion. It's a much different atmosphere, of course, much different area, but it's going down again on May the 4th. This is the 12th one, the brainchild of my beautiful bride who came up with this, and I just came on board to be eye candy for her and to host, just using me to, like a piece of meat out to the people to come in and host these events. Which is what I did. And I've been along for the ride for 12 years. And this is the 12th installment of it. So kind of tell folks about Love and Life real quick before we get out of here.
You just did that, baby.
I mean, but you came up with the idea and the inspiration.
Oh, so, the idea of, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you meant. Mm-hmm. The idea of Love and Life started because it was just really in our personal lives, having conversations in our business lives with men and women, not necessarily just about relationships, but just in general. We were able to notice a glaring hole in communication.
Yes.
There is not a lot of understanding. So we thought that it would be important to just have a platform where people can actually come and talk free of judgment. No kids. We don't want you. We want you to be able to say what you need to say, how you need to say it, respectfully, of course. But we wanted to have all different backgrounds from relationship statuses. so that we could have people that represented every single place that you could possibly be positioned in your relationship life. So it's been very successful. It's in high demand in our city in Jackson, Mississippi. We do live stream it. I am currently looking for men to be on a panel, single men and a seasoned married couple. Mm-hmm. So if you fit in either one of these categories, please hit us up at cosandqueen@gmail.com.
That is correct.
And let us know that you're interested, and we will give you some consideration. Mm-hmm. You got to be honest and candid, and you got to be ready to talk. We don't need no mutes. You got to be willing to give the information. You never know who you may bless or who may be blessed.
You got to come on and tell the truth about your experience.
Yeah.
You can't sugarcoat it. You can't lie. You got to come on and tell the real about everything, because that is the way. It's kind of what this podcast is about. It's about opening up the lines of communication and saying how you feel. So, sometimes guys are not as ready to be as open as women are.
Sometimes girls aren't.
Sometimes
people, period.
Yeah.
But this is your opportunity to speak your truth in the effort of contributing to us as a community, getting to a better place where we can converse with each other from a listening place, a hearing place, and an understanding place.
There it is. So make sure you check it out. This is on May the 4th. All right, 2024 at the Synergy Link, 135 Bound Street, of course. Love and Life 12. All right, single, dating, it's complicated. We're going to talk about it all. Our yearly panel discussion going into the next debate night that's going to be coming up real soon. So we'll be talking about that as well. So at any rate, we'll holler at you guys next time. We appreciate you for always sticking with us, and appreciate you for liking and subscribing to the channel and sharing with somebody else. All right, I'm Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
This has been According to Kaz and Queen. We'll holler at you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.